Cosell, speaking of sports.
You are listening to the Cheap Seats.
Who are these guys?
On Twitter at TCSWillisMSP Detterman, Spreaker and iHeartRadio.
They're here. Here is Steve and Steve.
Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is time for the Cheap Seats. We are here 2 weeks in a row.
Wow, geez. Beat the band and let's get going.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah, right. We're starting a streak.
When was the last time we had 2 weeks in a row?
I don't know.
I mean,
But we're streaking. That's cool.
Well, put the clothes back on. Let's get to talking some sports today.
I don't know if I have to. I thought it was No Pants Friday.
Yeah, and for everybody but you.
Oh, okay. Well,
that thing can't be dangling. That's a dangling participle.
I'm not even going to begin to. I'm going to begin to act like I know what a participle is.
I don't know what it is either, but I thought it was just dangling. So what the hell?
Awesome. Well, it is, of course. This is the Cheap Seats. I'm your host, Steve Willis.
Pen or something like that,
No, I'm your
it's one of
host,
those
Steve Willis.
golf pencils.
Now that's just mean.
That's a lot of wood right there.
And then, of course.
Hey, we started out good at least, though, haven't we?
I'm more of an irons guy. Thank you.
I'm more of a baseball bat kind of guy myself. But
oh, thank you.
Yeah. Give me a 34, will you?
You're stretching it out a little. It's only a 32.
Well, that's okay. I'll still take the 32.
I'm your host, Steve Willis.
Beats the 4-inch stub.
Alongside me, taking time off of his other job as a comedian.
That is right. I'm here till Friday. Oh, today is Friday.
And I use very own Steve Detterman. And we have reached week 3.
Oh, my gosh.
Of the NFL preseason.
We have.
It is time for the all the teams to kind of get out their first team, trot them out there, and
show.
Give us the dress rehearsal for opening day. And that is what we have seen thus far. Got a lot more football coming up tonight and tomorrow.
So can I do it yet?
What's that for?
That's what the third week still is. They trot them out. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll trot these guys out. We'll trot them out for their, okay, I want you to go ahead and take 2 series, okay? Okay, go take a shower, guys.
And most times you get to see these guys play for the whole first half or something like that. They still come out very vanilla. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to see a lot of the offense. You're not going to see a lot of the defense. They're going to keep things very, very vanilla, very basic. But you get to see a little more of your normal team that you're going to see for the next 16 weeks.
Unless you're Seattle and you just want to beat the crap out of Dallas. Then you'll play the guys for a little bit longer.
Well, this is true. And, of course, that did happen last night. And Tony Romo injured, potentially injured.
Yeah.
According to trainers, he's fine. This does bring up the question, though. Tony Romo's 36.
And it was his back again, wasn't it?
And it's his back
isn't that
again.
what he had the surgery on last year?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Durability has
Didn't he have
been
surgery
an
on his
issue.
back a couple years ago then, too?
Yes, he did.
So
durability has been an issue for him
lately.
For a while. Of course, Tony Romo went out with a collarbone injury, re-injuring that right collarbone at the end of last season. This really, it really, if you're a Cowboys fan, there's kind of there's a bad side to this that you're saying, oh my God, Tony Romo down again.
Where's the good side to this? Because remember what happened last year when he was out.
Here is the good side.
Okay, I'm waiting.
The good side is you don't have a Brandon Weeden, Matt Castle, or Kellen Moore under center backing him up.
Okay.
you have your 4th-round draft pick in Dak Prescott, and he has been very impressive in the preseason thus far.
Okay, and who's he played against?
I believe, regardless of who he's played against, he's your 4th-round draft pick, and he's healthy. He's not a 3rd, 4th, 5th year.
Brandon Weeden was a 1st-round draft pick a while back.
Yeah,
okay.
Brandon Weeden wasn't as good as advertised either. Dak Prescott has come out and shown us thus far that he has the ability to control an NFL offense. Brandon Weeden couldn't even show you that in the preseason when he first came out.
I still think that the Cowboys, if Romo goes down, the Cowboys are in a herd of trouble. They are just...
I disagree, and here's why.
Okay.
Dak Prescott has the arm, and it looks so far that he has the ability to get the ball to Dez Bryant, to get the ball out to their tight ends.
But is Dez Bryant running at 100%?
Now, so far, I have no reason to think that he isn't. Now, they also have another round in the chamber here,
right?
With the fact that they have an excellent running game now, whereas they did not have before.
Well, okay.
I am a buyer in Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay, but you did see the nice picture of Zeke, walking up to that the pot vending machine yesterday, right?
Well, yes, and I got to be perfectly honest. This is one of the reasons why social media really needs to be taught to these kids as to what you should allow yourself to be shot in public.
But the thing is that is just a lack. It's just a lack of knowledge, a lack of concern, or a lack of intelligence. You name it. Maybe all of it.
Okay, so he walked up to the machine. But listen, he walked up to the machine. Mm-hmm. Did he fail a drug test?
Not yet.
Did he fail a drug test?
Not yet.
Who cares?
But the thing is that
if he didn't fail a drug test, who cares?
All you've done is you put yourself under a bigger spotlight.
Yeah.
And you put yourself up for that each and every time.
Yeah. Terrell Owens did that for years, and he was a great wide receiver for a long time. He didn't not play because he decided to do sit-ups in his driveway one time, or he was signing footballs after scoring touchdowns, or he stood in front of the Dallas Star and got eviscerated. It doesn't matter the antics that these guys do. Granted, okay, they put themselves in bad situations. They get in pictures that they shouldn't be in, or probably poor judgment photographs or whatnot. But unless he did something that broke a league rule, then okay.
Yeah,
he's a young kid.
He's a young kid, and we sat there and you and I went around this a little while back, and we went over the same guy that was over in Cleveland that's now out of the game. That ran into a bunch of problems, and that's where you sit there and go, okay, when you're starting to do this, and you're a public figure like that, and you're doing it now, you're doing it as a rookie and everything else. I mean, where are we going with this? Let's start talking about some of the other guys that have done this, and we find them out of the game. Mainly Johnny Manziel. I mean, he was the guy that came in with all the pomp and circumstance, the big QB arm, everything else. Where's he at now? I like Ezekiel. I think he's a great running back. But when you start doing things like this, when you start putting this out on your Facebook page and things, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for more scrutiny. You're setting yourself up in the bigger limelight that where if you have a bad game, it becomes even more magnified. You cannot sit there and have a bad game. Any other rookie that doesn't do that, they have a bad game, it's just a bad game. But when I want to bring that spotlight on me hot, bright, and really, really shining right in my eyes, and I do something like that.
Some of us here describe our delicious Simply Juice drinks.
Yes, they do.
Disregard
Say,
that.
some of us describe it hot, delicious, and my God, it smoked really good. that was a true testimonial from Ezekiel Elliott.
You can't hear that out there. You can't hear that out there. But as I was pulling up stats, a video came up, just started blaring in our ears as we're trying to talk.
It was great. It was talking about a nice taste of something. So, just as I'm talking about Ezekiel Elliott with his nice pick, but you understand what I'm saying, and yes,
I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah, I do get it. The pressure's on, but at the same time, let's see him not deliver.
Okay.
Before we start making assumptions about, oh my God, he's going to be another Johnny Manziel doing stupid stuff all the time in social media. Let's see him not deliver
but
first.
The problem is this has been, the last couple of years have just been the years of stupid things on social media by these athletes, especially football athletes. Have torn these things apart.
I got to be honest. I really don't think that's, not only is it not going away, that's only going to get worse.
Oh, I agree.
As they would say, hang on, kids, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Just wait.
Wow.
Just wait, because
I thought watching Ray Rice, whap the crap out of his wife, I thought that was as bad as we could get.
But what I'm saying is the veterans in a lot of sports were around well before social media.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
if you want
4 or 5 year guys are the ones, they're going to be the first of the Twitter.
Yeah. If you want to
guys
watch,
and the Instagram guys, and now you're going to see those 4 and 5 year guys once they get to be veterans. Just imagine everybody in the league is going to have a Twitter. Everybody in the league is going to have their own Instagram.
This is not a new thing. Go watch North Dallas 40 if you want to see what happened back in the old days. The thing that saved them back then is that the media covered up for them.
Right.
That's why a lot of the different issues you had in baseball, the different issues and with all the problems with drug use and everything else, it was basically, hush hush. Any extramarital things, anything that went on, it was all hushed hush. Now it isn't. That's the type of society that we're in. You do something today, it's on Facebook within about 10 seconds.
Right. One of the caveats, I should say, to social media is the fact that it goes hand in hand with the 24-hour news cycle that we live in today.
Oh, it does.
And no matter what you do, no matter where you are going to be in the news of some sort.
Social media has destroyed the newspaper business.
Oh, certainly.
It has destroyed
I think it was on its way out anyway.
But I also
it was the comet that definitely.
But I also think that social media is starting to destroy some of these bigger, internet giants like ESPN, like CNN, because these things go out so much quicker. And they get out there. And CNN and ESPN as being, the legitimate news people, they have to confirm this. They have to go ahead and they have to follow their sources and everything else before they can do it. By the time they do it, this has been out for, half an hour. And that's the biggest issue. Citing unnamed sources, you'll hear that now and then as they try and stay up with social media. But it's unbelievable that some of these kids feel that I can go ahead and do something and no one will know anything about it. It's like, do you know who you are?
Right.
Do you know how many cameras are on you right now?
Right.
They can sit there and follow you from block to block to block to block on just different security cameras, and they know exactly what the hell you're doing. You go and stand in front of that pot dispensing machine. Trust me, someone's going to take a picture of that. The problem is he did it himself and put it on. He didn't wait for someone else. It's like,
I know that's.
It's like, dude, really? I can understand if someone else saw you and took the picture, but you doing it yourself? Really? That's almost like practice. Practice. Who was that? Was that Cardell Jones in Ohio? He learned from Cardell Jones in Ohio State. I didn't come here to go to school. I came here to play football.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just a scary thing, but I agree with you. Ezekiel Elliott, I think that the Cowboys, they now have a running game.
They do.
They haven't had a running game for a long time.
Line. They had a great offensive line.
Yes.
And 3 years ago they had a fantastic running game.
Yes, they did.
They obviously let probably one of the hottest running backs that year go.
And I still don't know why they did that.
Away.
Why would they do that? Do you know?
I have no idea. And then worse yet, let him go to Philly on top of it. And then and they come get Ezekiel Elliott in the draft. I think that's going to help that offensive line. But just to give you some numbers, in the one win that the Cowboys have had against Miami this year, in the preseason, Dak Prescott 12 of 15 for 199 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
So to give you an idea.
But the thing to remember though is that's third string versus third string. It's not top speed. It's not your number one players that are going to come out there and whack the crap out of you. These are guys trying to make the team, and there's a reason that they're third string. They're either going to be on the kickoff team, the punt team, or they're going to be cut and they're going to be up in the CFL.
Okay, I'm not arguing that, but at the same time, how many more rookie quarterbacks are coming out throwing for 200 yards and 2 TDs in one game? This year,
nobody. When I was a Packer,
nobody.
As a
not
Packer
the number
fan,
one and number two. The number 1 and number 2 draft picks this year have not done it yet.
Okay.
So I mean that's all I'm saying. Obviously put it where it belongs.
Right.
Put it where it belongs. I'm not calling Dak Prescott the next Peyton Manning. But at the same time, I'm also saying look at what he has done in the preseason.
I watched Dak Prescott in college.
Yeah.
And I saw him play 4 or 5 times, probably more than most anybody, but except maybe Notre Dame and Michigan. And the one thing that always sat there and stuck with me with Dak Prescott was that he was not reliable. I mean, he would have a great game, he would have a crappy game. It was the consistency just wasn't there. He had the one season. It wasn't last season, the season before. I mean, he got drafted, and the reason he dropped down to 4th is because of last season. If he would have come out the season before, I bet he would have been probably a number 2 round pick. Because he had a great season, but he had a great team around him. And the thing is that this last year we saw the inconsistencies. We saw why he dropped down to 4th round. So I mean, I'm not giving up the ship on Dak Prescott. I don't have as much faith in him as you do.
Let's put it this way.
You proved me wrong last year or a couple years ago with Teddy Bridgewater. You did. Mm-hmm. Because I was not totally impressed with him.
Right. But
then again, we've gone both ways. We've gone Bridgewater, we've gone Manziel.
Right. Manziel was a big swing and a miss for me. However, when I see Dak Prescott control an NFL offense, you can see the confidence in his eyes. And that is something when you're dealing with a rookie quarterback.
Right.
And believe me, the rookie quarterback talent in the NFL is just, it's pathetic right now.
It's pathetic. I say
it's horrible.
The last couple of years have been pathetic.
When you see the look on his face, he's not scared. He doesn't appear overwhelmed.
Okay.
And you see that a lot in rookies over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen rookies get under center and they see blitz package after blitz package, and they're in their mind they're trying to get it down, and for the most part they're reading it. But the speed just gets to be overwhelming. And with Dak Prescott, he seems to have that clock in his head already. And that's good. That's a great thing. If he's already got that clock in his head, then it makes it really easy to make a lot of plays that other rookies simply can't make because it takes too long to develop, or their timing isn't there yet, or something like that. Or sometimes they just kind of outthink themselves. And Prescott has so far listened to his coaches, and he's done what he's needed to do. And I honestly think if Tony Romo gets hurt, Cowboys fans are better off this year with Tony Romo getting hurt than what they were last year with him getting hurt, and then having Brandon Whedon or Matt Castle or whoever else under center for him. So
here's
that's
the
my
thing.
thought process.
Okay,
there.
and let me throw this out to you. Last year's QB draft class.
Okay.
Okay. Can you name them? The top 2 actually played.
Wow. Why am I drawing a blank?
Yeah.
My God.
Because they were that good.
Oh, wow. You said last year's draft class.
Last year's draft class.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
So
'cause
there'll be a second year this year.
Yeah, so the year before was Jameis Winston and
No, that was last
or no.
year.
What?
That was last year.
Was that last year?
Last year was their rookie year. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then it was last year. Okay, so Jameis Winston and then the kid from Oregon.
Yeah. That guy.
Went to the Titans, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Marcus Mariota.
Mariota, thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I mean,
yes, they're that good.
And
Yeah.
and that's the thing. I mean, when you take a look at the last couple of draft classes, you just go, wow, where the heck were they? Really. I mean, the year before, we had Bridgewater.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater's first year wasn't much to speak of, but last year I thought he did phenomenal for being second year.
I thought he did very well last year.
With what he had to work with, I thought it was great. If they could spice up that offensive line a little bit, put maybe one more home run hitting wide receiver around him.
The other thing you had
something
Johnny
there.
Manziel out of the league.
Yeah.
Blake Bortles.
Yeah, Blake Bortles kind of, jury's way out on him yet.
A.J. McCarron, backup.
Yeah, he's a
Backup in Cincinnati.
Yeah, but at the same time, not a bad backup. So I'll give him that. He's not going to be a horrible backup.
Okay, but he's going to be a backup. He's not a starter.
I will say this: if Andy Dalton gets hurt, the people in Cincinnati aren't running for cover.
No, they're not running for cover, but they're not also going, this is the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land.
No. But he's somebody who could hold it down until Dalton came back. I really believe that.
The best out of that class was the number 5 in the draft there. It was Derek Carr.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Derek Carr. The last couple of years, Derek Carr is easily the best quarterback.
But even if you take a look at him,
out.
I mean, okay, he's the best that I've seen in the last couple of years.
But he looks good.
But he looks
really
good. But I mean, when you take a look at it, when you start taking a look at your future, franchise quarterbacks, your future Hall of Fame quarterbacks, have you seen one in the last 4 or 5 years?
Well, I'm not going to call David Carr a franchise of he's definitely not like a Hall of Fame quarterback as of yet.
Well,
but but I can tell you right now the Oakland Raiders franchise, very happy to have.
Oh
him
no,
as their
and
number one.
I agree with you.
I would say he very well could be a Raider for a long time.
But I put him at the middle of the pack right now.
As far as guys that just came out.
No, I'm overall.
Overall,
He's been out 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, overall he's second tier. Right now in the NFL, you have Tom Brady, and then you have your second tier.
We have Aaron Rodgers. I'd put
Eli. I'll put Aaron Rodgers with Tom Brady.
Rodgers with
Yes,
Tom Brady.
I apologize. I'll put Aaron Rodgers with Tom Brady, and then your second tier, your Eli Mannings,
and Eli Manning
Alex.
has dropped down to almost third tier now.
I'll still give him second tier. Give him second tier because bad year is not going to do it to me.
No, he's had several bad years.
Statistically,
oh my God.
Statistically,
come on.
Look, okay, you want to fault a guy for like a rookie year and a second year?
No. I want to fault him for his whole career, except for the two Super Bowls. The only reason they won the 2 Super Bowls was because they had a hell of a defense. It had nothing to do with what Eli Manning did. Eli Manning did nothing to carry those teams. Not a damn thing.
Let's see what he does this year.
Yeah, let's
with
do
a
that.
completely different style.
Now here's a guy that
I think there's a lot more potential for him to do a lot better there. Remember, Tom Coughlin historically has not been a big fan of throwing the ball around, and mind you, in Giant Stadium is not a great place to throw the ball anyway. No. But I think Manning has done pretty well for what he had. And I really think that he could even do much better.
I mean,
But-
you've
but
got another
when-
Hall of Fame quarterback out there, and we talked about him a little bit earlier, and that's Tony Romo.
I'm not going to put Tony Romo as a Hall of Famer. No,
I'll
put him in the Hall of Great Quarterbacks, but not Hall of Fame.
when it's said and done, when you take a look at his yards, you take a look at his touchdowns, you take a look at versus interceptions, everything else. I believe and this is, God, it's so hard for me to say this because this is Tony Oh No to me. I think Tony Romo will be there.
I don't. First of all, the NFL Hall of Fame is not a numbers game. This is not the Baseball Hall of Fame. This is not the Baseball Hall of Fame. If you don't go solely on numbers.
It's turned into that.
Unless there is some just gargantuan number that you blow away.
Okay.
You don't go into the Hall of Fame based on numbers. That's not the way the NFL Hall of Fame has ever done it.
Okay, let's look at this. For his career, he's thrown for 34,000 yards.
Okay.
247 touchdowns.
Okay.
His rating, 97.1. Did you think he was that high? That's top 5.
I would say
That's top 5.
I would never. I
That's
would
top
not
5.
have guessed it as that high, but I would have definitely said his rating would have been in the 90s.
Yeah, 97.1.
I would have thought it would have been more like 90, 91.
247 TDs, 117 interceptions.
I will tell you this: I saw a statistic one time where Tony Romo, in the fourth quarter, had the best passing. What was it? The best. Best completion percentage is what it was. The best completion percentage for in the fourth quarter, and the best completion percentage when your team was down in the fourth quarter. So he's clutch. The one thing you could never say, and maybe because he's only ever won one playoff game, is probably why I'm immediately thinking no to the Hall of Fame. But the one thing you can never say, you can't say Tony Romo wasn't clutch.
No.
All right. He had one bad hold on a field goal kick. Okay. Oops. Everybody has a bad moment.
Right.
But you can definitely say the numbers don't lie on the fact that he has been clutch historically.
Oh.
I just don't think it'd be enough for him to go in the Hall of Fame. If he does go in the Hall of Fame, it certainly isn't going to be a right-away thing.
Okay.
I would definitely say there'd be some years on the ballot. There are a lot of guys who would go before him, in my opinion, and should go before him. I'm not saying if he goes, I would be completely upset about it because I think he's just outside of that Hall of Fame criteria.
If you take a look at what his winning percentage as a quarterback is,
I like Tony Romo. That's the weird part about this. I actually really like Tony Romo,
and I don't.
You don't, and you're the one that's volleying for him to go to the Hall of Fame.
No,
I'm actually the exact opposite. So it's so weird.
I think he is someone that, when all is said and done,
right?
That I think he's going to be someone. I think he's going to finish. Right now, he has 34,000 yards. He ranks 27th in yards.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start taking a look at the other things, as far as his TDs, his interceptions, but also his ranking,
right?
And you take a look at being in Dallas, and that plays up a big bit right there.
Mm-hmm.
I get a feeling. I think he's going to finish probably around 46,000 yards. I think he's got another 12,000 in him.
If he can stay healthy.
Yes.
And that's a big if right now, man. 36 years old.
Yep.
Every time he takes a big hit, it seems like he gets hurt, at least to some degree. And at 36, man, you're not going to bounce back like you did at 26. You're not going to bounce back like you did at 28.
Right.
I think it's going to be a lot harder for him to bounce back. That's just kind of part of the deal, man, as you're getting older.
Right.
Kind of like what Tony Romo did say, like what he himself said this after the game yesterday. He said, you can't put us in bubble wrap. it's football. We're going to get hit. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's true.
Right.
It's true. He's going to get hit. And look, if you don't think defensive ends and linebackers don't know about Tony Romo's back and Tony Romo's shoulder and aren't going to go after it, you're crazy. These guys are going to go after it.
Okay. Here's Eli Manning, 44,000 yards passed, 294 TDs. So he's got about 50 more TDs. 199 interceptions. So he's got about 60 or 70 more interceptions. His rating, 83.
He also plays in Giant Stadium half the year. Listen, he also plays in Giant Stadium half the year where the winds are swirling around.
Okay.
So, I mean, you know, there is more of a chance, and it's in New York where the weather's worse, and, you know, there's more of a chance for interceptions and stuff like that. I'm not making a case for why Eli should be in the Hall of Fame where Tony Romo is not. But, I mean, you know, you can't trash Eli Manning because of a few more interceptions.
I'll trash Eli Manning.
Especially when he's got a lot more touchdowns, a lot more yards. And, oh, by the way, he's on the field every week. You know, he's not hurt all the time.
Unfortunately for New York Giants fans, he's on the field every
here we go.
week.
How many Super Bowl rings does he have?
How many Super Bowl rings does his defense have?
Yeah, drop the mic on you. That's it. Speaking of drop the mic, we got to drop ours for a minute. We got a commercial break coming up. When we come back, you're filling out your fantasy football roster. You got your hopefuls for your very first pick. We're going to give you the top 10. We're going to tell you who we like if we've got the number one pick in fantasy football, and what to do if you're in that weird gray middle area of picks 8, 9, and 10. Where should you go? We're going to give you our best picks when you're stuck in the middle. That's right on the other side of this. You're listening to the Cheap Seats on XCRS Radio.
You're listening to XCRS Radio, Northern Indiana's #1 rated internet radio station.
Broadcasting to the four corners of the earth, Michiana Edge, every Sunday night, 7 p.m., XCRSradio.com.
You stick with it, and you're passionate about it, you'll get better.
Climb aboard Starship Comedy and join co-hosts Adam Nielsen and
your beloved comedian, Colton Cole,
as we boldly go where no internet radio team from Michiana has gone before.
I am a legend from the future.
We will travel to the comedy underworld so you will know where's the show.
I miss when drinking was fun, though. You know what I mean? Like, before it was like a problem. You know?
If it's funny or it's cool, we will cover it. Hey. See what I did there?
I was sent from space.
Dude, that's gold.
Just like my jokes.
Your mama must be so proud.
Why can't you love me?
Have you heard those two wacky guys, Chris and Ginn, on the Life is Art Also show? They share their favorite songs and their future favorites, too. They have live interviews with authors, comedians, artists, and musicians, and lots more. They also have a Word of the Week with Mad Dog Ho, the official lexicographer of Internet Radio. Tune in every Thursday, 6 p.m. on XCRS.com.
Whether it's a hot rod or a grocery getter, DDW Automotive and Transmission has you covered. Since 1991, they've been located at 204 South Beach Road in Osceola, Indiana. Stop by or call 574-651-5000. Ask for Dave. Tell him you heard about him on XCRS Radio. With over 46 years experience in the automotive and transmission repair business, they offer all your high-performance service and maintenance needs. Bring your ride to DDW. If your tranny misbehaves, just call Dave.
Danielle Slav from Cheers Pub here. If you're looking for the best live music in Michiana, Cheers Pub is for you. Established in 1982, Cheers has become a well-known venue featuring local, regional, and national acts. Hard rock, metal, indie, and classic rock music is featured weekly on our newly remodeled stage. We have karaoke on Wednesday nights, drink specials nightly, Four Horsemen Pizza, and a full menu to curb your appetite. We're open 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Located at 103 Dixie Way South in Roseland. Cheers Pub, where friends become family.
Life is meant to be savored. If you find the reason, Morgan's and the Little Black Dog Tavern in downtown Mishawaka, Indiana will make it special. From the casual European atmosphere to the high-end tavern fare, Morgan's and the Little Black Dog Tavern give you the chance to savor every day. Stop in and savor your day with your choice of a wide variety of drinks, from a classic martini to the best beers from local breweries. Savor your day on the patio, or come in and enjoy a glass of wine with some of our mouth-watering entrees. We're located in the historic Cam Brewery Stable Building in the 100 Center in downtown Mishawaka, Indiana. Call 574-807-0101 for reservations. Like us on Facebook to find out today's food and drink specials, or stop by our website at morgansandlbd.com. Drink in the moments, feast on the memories, savor every day at Morgan's and the Little Black Dog Tavern.
Hi, I'm former President George W. Bush. Now, here's a couple of guys that always have some kind of exit strategy. Steve Willis and Steve Detterman.
And we're back to Cheap Seats on XERS Radio. Got a lot going on this weekend. Just get to a couple of things real quick here. And we'll start at the Phoenix Grill, fine sponsor of the Cheap Seats at the Phoenix. Tonight, Soul Function is going to be out there. Red Alert will be out there Saturday night. If you happen to be at Mr. G's, Blammo will be playing Saturday night, so check them out. Friday at the 5-Star Dive Bar, the Roosters, Johnny Sprocket on Saturday, and Sunday, Strum Day on Sunday, so check that out. And if you want to come out, have a good time, celebrate the fine people at XERS Radio, listen to some great music. Bill Stock, August 27th.
That's tomorrow.
Is tomorrow, kids. From 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Come check it out. Bring the kids. There'll be swimming. There'll be all kinds of food. And there will be all kinds of wonderful music by a lot of great bands. So come check that out. So I just noticed, actually, you just pointed out that you're wearing what is a fantastic tie.
It is.
It is a great tie.
It's a sport-tastic.
Steve Detterman, of course, came from his executive position to come down here today.
Yes, I came right out of the executive offices, and I came up here to the
and
the penthouse suite.
Decided to come out and hang out with this groveling schlep and talk sports for a little while.
You came in your Speedo and your. What is that?
Well, at least I put pants on. That's what's important.
After you got here.
Yes. Well, you know.
After you got here.
Yes. That was only with great begging did it happen.
Well, that's you knew I wasn't going to sit down.
But this is a fantastic tie you're wearing.
It is. It's my Packer tie.
It's a Green Bay Packers tie. I'll just give you. It's got small Green Bay symbols all up and down the very famous G Green Bay Packers symbol. And it's throughout the entire tie. The tie is a dark green, the Green Bay Packer dark green, of course, and is very, very nice. And it's got hundreds, probably, at least dozens.
At least because you go on that backside. They're on the backside too. Yeah.
So all right, where'd you get the tie? Where'd you get it?
Actually, I got it up at Lambeau Field.
At Lambeau Field.
Yep, in the Packer. In the Packer shop there.
There you go.
It's a great. I tell you, going to Lambeau, it's like a pilgrimage. Okay. But I mean, Lambeau is so. I mean, the whole area of Green Bay up there, it's so fan friendly. It's unbelievable. They have their Packer Hall of Fame.
Certainly.
This is where when you go up for preseason, you watch them bike from Lambeau Field, where the locker rooms are, down through the parking lot. They cross Oneida Avenue right to the the Don Hudson Center, which is just across the street, and that's where they practice. They got all the bleachers set up for people to come and watch. They got tons of people sitting up there. The Packer fans or the Packers that ride over on the bikes, they stop and they sign autographs and everything else. And also all the other stars, they just show up over there somehow. I think they get bussed around there. But, and they come out, and at the end of practice, they usually they slap down a couple of tables, and some of the Packer faithful will sit down. And during the practice, they'll have some of the different equipment managers and so forth come around and hand these little kids tokens. And the kids that get tokens get the chance to stand in line for the end of practice. Then when they put those tables down, those Packers sit down, those kids with the coins get to actually walk in and get the autographs from the players down there.
Oh, that is so neat.
And, we were up there when my son, I want to say Zach was probably about 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
And we were up there, and, they followed him over, and they got an autograph from a rookie. This real skinny kid had legs about, probably about 3 inches wide. I mean, you go, oh my God, that guy's going to break. Donald Driver.
Really?
He was one of the guys driving over. But we sat there, and they were handing out these tokens, and we went to the morning practice, and I'm going, man, I went to the practice the day before, the afternoon. We're watching this, go, man, I gotta get a token for Zach. I got to do that. So the next morning, we were at the practice. We're there, and also I see him going around handing out these tokens. I'm going, hey, can we get one of those? Can we get one of those? My son needs to get one. He goes, he says, what do you want? I said, well, we came all the way from Michigan. So, people came from all over the country to come here. Why should I give you one? I go, because, we're great fans and blah, blah, blah. He goes, I don't have any more tokens left. He goes, oh, man. I said, I really wanted to get my son in. He goes, well, where are you sitting? And I said, we're sitting down. He goes, no, you're sitting here. And I said, no, we're sitting. He goes, no, you're sitting right here, which was near the gate where they let the kids in.
Oh, okay.
And I said, yeah, we're going to sit here. And all of a sudden the security guard comes up, and he goes to the equipment manager, what's going on? He goes, I don't have any tokens left. And he goes, well, I got one left. And he gave the guy a token. He came over and gave it to Zach. And we sat there and we're going, oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps right now. We got a token. Mm. And my nephew got one too. So at the end of practice, we're going stand in line, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is great. We got a little football for him to sign, and he's got his Brett Favre jersey on and everything. And all of a sudden they slap the tables down, and all of a sudden Packers come over and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Favre was one of those that sat down.
Oh my.
So we got to go in, and we got to shake hands with Leroy Butler.
Nice.
Who will probably be a Hall of Famer. Ron Rivera, oh my God, who was one of their guards. They've been all-pro guard for years. Mm-hmm. Nail Diggs, the guy that got out of Ohio State, the linebacker that did very well.
Right.
Dotson, who was a guy they'd brought up, I believe, Santana Dotson,
mm-hmm.
one of their defensive ends.
Right.
And Brett Favre, and then there were a couple other ones in there too. And we sat there, and we were walking in. I got my camera, and I'm taking pictures of everyone signing Zach's football and everything else. And we got to Brett Favre. I'm like going, how you doing? We ate at your steakhouse last night. So it was great. He goes, well, how was it? Did you enjoy it? And I said, well, yeah, it was great. He goes, what'd you have? And that's why I had the jambalaya. I said, I'm at Brett Favre Steakhouse. I got to have the jambalaya, from down Louisiana. I mean,
sure.
You got to have that.
Sure.
He goes, was it good? I said, it was fantastic. He goes, good. He said, I'm glad you enjoyed it. He said, thank you for coming. He said, I really appreciate that. He says, he says, son, what do you want me to sign? And we had him sign his jersey. So he had Zach come around the table, stand next to me, signed his jersey right on the floor.
Nice.
So I got to take a picture of him signing it. We got this thing. I got to shake his hand and talk to him and babble at him for a little bit. We walked out of there. We went instantly. I mean, I had the biggest grin on my face. We went and we got those things developed. The 1 hour developing.
Right. Sure.
Got them developed, and now we're going to look at this. Instantly came back. We went down to Michael's. They put it in a nice little box frame. Mm-hmm. With the pictures under the sleeves. We got the jersey framed in a shadow box with the pictures underneath the arms.
Nice.
Showing him sign this.
Nice.
And it's just, you talk about a fan-friendly event. that was it. You know, a year later we went back and we were there, and and usually when the guys ride the bikes over, it's always the rookies that will ride them over.
Mhm.
You know, the rookies are trying to make the team, or the second year guys or something like that, and
Mhm.
not your stars, they just show up.
Right.
Well, we were sitting in the bleachers, and our kids are over there to get autographs and everything else, and Mary and I are sitting there. And all of a sudden, we hear like a big commotion at the end where the bikes come up, and we were down a little ways, and they got the opening in that. And everybody's, whoa. We look up, and it was Brett Favre. He actually rode a bike over with a kid. He got off, he grabbed the kid, got the Sharpie from the kid. He signed the kid's shirt. He signed the kid's little ball that he had, signed his helmet that he had, signed his bike, signed a couple other ones, and walked in. And, at that point you go, the respect that I have for him just grew even more for, someone at that caliber. I mean, this was after, everything that they'd done.
Right.
All of his MVPs and win
Sure.
the Super Bowl. That he would actually take the time to do this, to ride the bike over. But then, to do all this stuff, everything for the kids there, but all the other kids around him too.
Mhm.
And then go into practice.
Yeah.
And the thing is everybody in the bleachers stood up and applauded. As he came in. And that's one thing. If you ever have a chance to go watch practice up there, like I said, they are so fan-friendly. Because at the end of practice, what they'll do then is they will, you have the guys sit down, but the rest of them, they'll walk out and they'll walk over to, Lambeau Field. And you can walk along with them and get autographs. And we were there, we were walking the kids, and they've got Oneida's a busy, traffic area in front of, in between them.
Sure.
And, we were there getting autographs. We're walking over, and one of the assistant coaches was there. And they actually, they were like my kids, they actually stopped traffic to help my kids cross. We got over there, on the other side, and the one guy goes, well, here, let me sign that. And he grabs Zach's Sharpie, and he goes to do it, and it wasn't working. It was like out. We had open. He goes, oh, man. He says, I'm sorry, son, just a minute. He pulls a Sharpie out of his pocket. He goes, here, this is Sharpie from the Green Bay Packers. Signed it, gave it to him, and gave him the Sharpie so he could go and get more autographs.
Nice.
And you just sit there and you go, stuff like that. That's when you love the game. And that's
Sure.
when you see how, how an organization can make it friendly for the fans. And you would always say, I wish other franchises, I wish, other football teams would take tips from some of these that are doing it right and do it that way themselves.
That was neat.
Yeah, it was.
It was neat to share. That's pretty cool. The thing about Brett Favre, I mean, I've never met Brett Favre, but I can tell you, I would have imagined meeting him would go just like that.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
He's one of the rare people that you can genuinely tell he loves what he did.
Oh, just a smile on his face. I mean, just, always wanting to get out there.
Right. Played just like you would have expected him to play.
Well, he played like a little kid.
Played like a kid that loved to play the game.
When you grew up and you had to have that football game in your backyard, and you went out there and played because you loved the game.
Right.
That's him.
Right.
It's like, I got to make money doing this. This is great. And the thing it was neat, but even like Donald Driver to take the time, yes, he was a 6th-round pick out of, I think, what was it, Alcorn State or something like that. He's out there signing autographs, and then they're going out there. We also had we were there, and that was when Ryan Longwell was still with them,
right?
And they were kicking field goals and everything else, and we sat there, we're standing back there, and he kicked a field goal. And I'm sitting like this. It's coming right towards me and this other guy. And the guy looked at me, and I looked at him and said, go ahead. And the guy caught it. And then the equipment guy comes out and he goes, where's that football? Where's that football? So it's right here. He gives it to him. Guy goes running in, takes the football in. He comes running back and goes, where was that guy? Where's the guy? Right here. Brings him another football and signed like about 5 or 6 Packers.
Nice.
I mean, and that you just go, wow. And I'm going to myself, I said, I sat, both the guy and I were watching it come at us.
Right.
He kind of looked at me, I looked at him, I said, yeah, go ahead. And the guy caught it.
Nice.
And I was right there. I mean, I could have caught it also.
Right.
But I said, no, go ahead. And I go, damn it! I should have kicked him out of the way, caught that thing, and I would have had the ball. But it's just it's that type of atmosphere, and
right.
I had been to a Bears practice before, and I didn't find it as fan friendly. And that's when they were up in Platteville.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the teams have turned them more into a little bit more fan friendly.
Well, sure.
But I mean, I think some teams have gone even further to make it to where it's an event for people to be there.
Right.
So.
Right.
Now, you
That's
wanted to
cool.
talk fantasy, and I just got done blown away for about 10, 15
that's
minutes.
okay. That's okay. We've just discussed one of your fantasies.
Yes, and it was.
and it was a fantasy come true.
Oh, yes, it was.
I can only imagine you talking to Brett Favre, too. I'm sure that went, it was just, it's how the words came out, I'm sure. Right?
Oh, I sat there, and I'm like going, and we got done, and my son goes, you babbled at Brett Favre. And I go, but you didn't say a word. He goes, I couldn't. I said, well, why not? He goes, because it's Brett Favre. And I said, well, I talked enough for both of us. He says, yes, you did, Dad.
Yes, you did,
yes,
Dad.
you did, Dad.
You've embarrassed me enough. All right. Speaking of embarrassing yourselves, let's give you some fantasy football advice so you don't embarrass yourself come the first round of your fantasy football draft. Now, we have decided we're going to do this based on your average fantasy football scoring. So if you're in a PPR league or if you're in a salary-based league or a points league, a keeper league or something like that, you're going to have to adjust these accordingly. But we're going to go based on what most of the leagues are out there, which is your standard scoring, and that's what we're going to go by. So now, we both have a couple of lists in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, all right, I'm going to give you picks 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
All right, and if you have the number one pick, we'll start with this. If you have the number one pick, who are you going with?
See, in the league I was in, the quarterback was the one that could score you the most points.
Okay.
But there were only 2 or 3 quarterbacks,
right?
That you would actually go after.
Mm-hmm.
My first pick had to be Aaron Rodgers. It always was.
Okay.
I actually had the first pick. I haven't been in a fantasy league in probably this will be the 3rd year in a row.
Okay.
But when I took Aaron Rodgers. I actually won the league, and it was because of Aaron Rodgers that I won the league. But it's because of Aaron Rodgers and his backup. I put it that way.
All right. So say we're not in a quarterback heavy league. What way are we going?
Then if it's not a quarterback heavy league, then you're either going to go for a wide receiver or you're going to go for a top tier running back.
All right. So who would your number one pick be?
If I'm going for a wide receiver,
mm-hmm.
The one thing you take a look at, and if you're going to go with a running back, you want a person that not only is going to get some yardage for you, but they're going to score. They aren't being taken out when the team gets inside the 5,
right?
But they can also catch the ball coming out of the backfield.
Right.
That was always, a key thing to look at is to have one of those dual threat type of people. But, right now, taking a look at how the league has become pass happy, you're going to take a look at a wide receiver.
Right.
And to me, if I'm going number one, I'm probably, I want to take a look at someone that can get the ball out, that they're going to get a lot of targets, that I know that I can count on this guy for at least 100 yards every game. And, with Calvin Johnson retired this year, even last year when he was there, my number one pick is probably going to be on Antonio Brown of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Then we'll go to we're going to go like somewhere in the top. Okay, we're going to take We'll take our number 1 and number 2 picks off the board. According to my list, that would be Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. Yep. So we're going to take those two off the board.
Mm-hmm.
You got the number 3 pick. Who are you looking at?
Well, are you talking, and this is my first pick, and those two are gone?
Yeah, this is the number 3 pick in the draft. Those two guys are gone. Which way are you going?
I think right now,
because this is where you start getting into the.
Well, it is.
Who's better, a running back or a good wide receiver?
This is where you start saying, okay, how is Odell Beckham going to be this year?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have enough faith in Todd Gurley in L.A.?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Gurley was just a beast last year.
Right.
Does Adrian Peterson still have it in the tank, or has he gotten a little bit older? Are they going to take a little bit away from them with the maturation of Teddy Bridgewater?
Mm-hmm.
What about Des Bryant? Is Des Bryant going to be there? So you got a lot of different things you're going to take a look at. With here though, I'm going to take that chance, and I'm going to go with Todd Gurley, my running back from the Rams. I want that beast. He's going to score me some touchdowns. He's going to get me 100 yards a game.
All right, now we're going to run this all the way down. Say you're in a 10-team league, pretty good size league.
Yep.
You're in a 10-team league. You have picks number 10 and 11.
Ooh.
Because you're going to rotate your picks backwards. You have picks number 10 and 11. You're in that salty spot. That spot where you get 2 picks in a row,
it's
but 9 guys have picked in front of you.
It's going to depend on who's gone. Now, more than likely, most of those wide receivers and some running backs and a couple quarterbacks have gone.
Right.
This is where I'm looking at Gronkowski. I want to get the tight end that no one else is going to even be close to. It's like when I do my Major League Baseball fantasy draft.
Right.
You sit there and you go, okay, oh my God, I am going to take Miguel Cabrera at first base. I'm not going to worry about a first baseman for the rest of the game, for the rest of the league.
Right.
Okay. I'll pick one up, 25th pick or whatever, because that's the guy I'm going with. I want someone that is so far ahead of everybody else at his position, and Gronkowski is it. If Gronkowski is it, that's who I'm picking.
Right.
And then with my next pick, I want to take a look and I want to go, okay, I've got my quarterback, I got a wide receiver, or I got a running back, and I've also probably got a couple wide receivers in there.
Sure.
Now I want to start filling. Okay, I want to take a look at, okay, who's my second wide receiver I can get? Who's my second running back I can get?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you want to start filling in because, you know that there are going to be some off weeks. You're going to have bye weeks. But the other thing I want to take a look at, and this is something I've done in my leagues, is I want to make sure that my top 2 running backs don't have the same bye weeks. That my top 2 wide receivers don't have the same bye weeks.
Very good point.
So it comes a little bit, it's a little bit more difficult now.
Sure.
And this is where time starts coming into it because you go, oh my God, I'm going to take I'm going to take Doug Martin and I'm going to take Rob Gronkowski. I already got Adrian Peterson. I already got Todd Gurley. Oh my God, I didn't look at it. Martin and Gurley have the same bye week.
Right.
Damn it. So I mean, those are things. When you get to the 10-11 pick, and you're getting 2 people in. But if you're in a 10 league, I mean, that's your first 2 picks. So
right, exactly.
It's when you start getting to the picks, when you start getting to your 3rd pick, your 4th pick in your team, that's where you're going to start taking a look at, okay, what do I need to fill? What are my bye weeks? Where am I going to get the most value for this person?
Right.
Is this wide receiver still more valuable than that running back? Are there a glut of run? Do I have 10 running backs that I could sit there and say, okay, I could take any one of those 10 and have the same result? Whereas this one wide receiver who may be number 9 of the wide receivers is still so high ahead of number 10, 11, and 12 that I've got to have that guy because he's the best player on the board as far as points.
Right.
So, I mean, it becomes a little bit tougher.
All right, now I'm going to just kind of go over the same questions, just my opinions on these. When I'm looking at what we have right now, all right, in the league, first pick, if you have the first pick and you don't take either Antonio Brown or Julio Jones, you're crazy.
Right.
That is your first pick, bar none. All right, both those guys are off the board. You're looking at number 3. You have the ability to look at the top tier running backs, your Todd Gurley's, your Adrian Petersons, your Devontae Freeman, David Johnson. You also have, at that time, you do have your Odell Beckham, Des Bryant, DeAndre Hopkins, guys like that. Rob Gronkowski kind of, to me, yeah, he plays tight end.
But he's not a tight end.
He's not a tight end.
No.
He has stats of a wide receiver.
He is someone that you cannot match up with.
And in the first 4 games, he is going to be the go-to for the Patriots because, remember, no Tom Brady.
Garoppolo to Gronkowski,
right.
G&G.
No Tom Brady the first 4 games. So definitely for the first 4 games, he's got to be a consideration at the number 3 pick. I've got him listed as the 5th best pick on my draft board here. When I look at this, I would be willing to take a chance on a Rob Gronkowski here because I know if I have the 3rd pick, that means I'm coming down to 21 and 22. So I could potentially still have Jordy Nelson, Mark Ingram, Mike Evans, Le'Veon Bell, Lamar Miller, Jamal Charles. I could still have some of these guys to pick with my next pick. How many other tight ends are you going to get like Rob Gronkowski?
You aren't.
You're not. Travis Kelce would be about as close as you're going to get, and he's not close. So Rob Gronkowski, I think, would be a great steal even at number 3. And it'd be a great pick even at number 3. Now, we start getting down to that 10 and 11. We get down to the 10 and 11, provided a lot of guys have been picked. I like at 10 and 11 to go running back, wide receiver, or wide receiver, running back, one of the two, because you can still get a heavy hitter right at the back end of that first round.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm looking at like running back, wide receiver, back-to-back picks like that, man, to get like a DeAndre Hopkins or a Devonta Freeman, if he's still there, possibly at 10.
That's the thing. Are they going to be
That'd be great.
That's the thing.
Now, I have DeAndre Hopkins listed at number 10. I have Devonta Freeman listed at number 8. Okay. So he would have to drop a little bit to get there. If, for whatever reason, he was gone, you're still looking at guys like possibly A.J. Green to be there, maybe LaShawn McCoy, definitely like a Jamal Charles or a Lamar Miller. Once again, a Le'Veon Bell would be a good spot for somebody like that at running back. If you want to go wide receiver, once again, Jordy Nelson, good spot to grab him, bring him up to. I think he'd be worth the 11 spot.
I think you'll find Des Bryant still there.
I don't know if Des Bryant would be there or not. I think it's really going to depend on the health of Tony Romo to see if Des Bryant's going to be there or not.
Would you take a shot at Ezekiel Elliott at that point, or is that too high for you?
You know, I don't know if I would take a shot with him as being my number 1 pick at running back just because of the fact that he hasn't played it down yet. I want to see him come out and play it down. I think the Cowboys are going to do well with him.
Well, why don't we do this?
They have a great offensive line. Ezekiel Elliott was a fantastic running back at Ohio State. I really think that they have something with that coupling. But before I draft him at a number 12 spot, I'd have to see him.
Why don't we do this? Let's take. Give me your top 5 wide receivers. And I'll give you my top 5.
My top 5 wide receivers. Yep. Top five overall. I would go Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, probably DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Especially since you'll have Osweiler there. I'll go Odell Beckham Jr. as number 4.
Okay.
Probably A.J. Green at number 5. As far as fantasy goes, that's where I'm going to go.
Okay. About the only one that I would throw in there is I I may switch up. I'm not so sold on DeAndre Hopkins because I'm not sold on Osweiler so much.
Okay.
I might throw a Des Bryant in there. I might throw him in there.
Right.
The other one that I would look at throwing in there is, you had A.J. Green, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Might be the kid down in Jacksonville, Allen Robinson.
Oh, that's a good pick. That is well. It really depends on how much they throw the ball.
Yeah.
I have more faith in Osweiler throwing the ball to DeAndre Hopkins just because I really think they'll come out throwing the football a lot.
Okay.
Really
now your top 5 running backs.
Top 5 running backs. I definitely got to go Gurley and Peterson at 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're interchangeable. Either one
right.
could be. I think Peterson's probably got 2 more good years left in the tank. And Todd Gurley, I think, could really tear it up in Los Angeles.
And I put Gurley number 1 over Peterson because I think with the maturation of Bridgewater, I think we're going to see less of Peterson. I don't think he's going to. He's not going to be the bulk of the offense anymore.
I see where you're going with that, but I actually think that it could work both ways.
Yeah. Okay.
With the maturation of Teddy Bridgewater, I think that may open more lanes for Adrian Peterson. He may not have as many carries, but they may be more effective because they've got to respect the pass.
Oh, no, I understand that.
So
those two guys we both agree are probably number 1 and 2.
1 and 2, yeah. And
right.
I would even say 1 and 1A maybe.
Okay.
So, all right. So there's our first 2. Boy, I gotta just because of the stats alone last year, I gotta give Devonta Freeman a number 3. Just because of
and the thing is I know he had a great year last year and
sick numbers.
He had
it wasn't just a great year. He had sick numbers every week.
Between him and David Johnson, they had great years.
Right.
But we've seen that. We've seen the 1 year and I'm just
their offensive line did not change at all. Devonta Freeman could still run the ball like that. I got to give Devonta Freeman number 3. I'm sorry, I got to give him number 3. I liked what David Johnson did, but I would be more inclined to believe that was a fluke.
Yeah. Did Le'Veon Bell? Does he have any suspension coming this year?
No.
Okay.
I like Le'Veon Bell. I like Le'Veon Bell. I don't like the fact that the Steelers are really turning more into a passing team.
Mm-hmm.
The use of Le'Veon Bell, I think, is going to start getting stymied a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chiefs are going to start to go a little more pass happy too. Although I think Jamal Charles will be more part of their passing game than what Le'Veon Bell would be part of the Steelers' passing game. So I'd probably give you Jamal Charles at number 4. Just because I think look, Andy Reid loves to run screens.
Right. Oh, I know.
And Jamal Charles will get a lot of receptions. Running back receptions are huge numbers.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a running back that is in a team that does a lot of screens, my God, you will rack up points.
And my number 4 is someone that has something to prove this year.
Who's that?
That is Eddie Lacy.
He does have something to prove.
I mean, you're talking a guy that came to training camp chiseled.
Yeah.
It looked like he just came out of college.
Right.
And this is a guy that, remember in his first couple of years, he gained well over 1,000 yards.
Right.
And, he's, last year, too fat, too heavy, too slow.
He was. He looked horrible.
And he was.
Right.
But he went away from the game, and he has something to prove now. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen him in the little bits and pieces we've seen in the preseason, he's a beast. He is back to that beast now, and I really think and who likes to throw screen passes more than the Green Bay Packers?
Outside of Andy Reid, nobody.
And the thing is that I mean,
any team
I think that we're going to see a resurgence of Eddie Lacy, and I think more because the Packers know they have to run the ball to get that pressure off of Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
But I like him up there. The other guy I like, if I'm looking at my number 5 pick, I'm torn between either Lamar Miller,
not a bad pick,
or throwing in Elliott. with that offensive line, I mean, that's the offensive line that was huge 2 years ago.
Right.
Last year they didn't have a bad year. They just didn't have a running back that could do anything. That's with Nick Martin and all those boys that ran across the front. That's when they had DeMarco Murray there.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And and that I still say until I see Ezekiel Elliott put his cleats in the soil, it's so hard to have that much faith in him.
I understand what you're saying, and I just got done blasting Ezekiel Elliott at the beginning here for his his poor taste and judgment.
Sure.
But I have a feeling that this is. I mean, trust me, the Cowboys are going to try and save Tony Romo.
Oh yeah,
you save Tony Romo by having a running game,
right?
Okay. And that's where you're going to. I mean, you're going to see them run the ball. The Cowboys always been a team that loves to run the ball.
Oh, absolutely.
The last couple of years they've been pass happy, and they've had Tony Romo to do it.
Right.
When he got hurt, they didn't have the people there. They didn't have that running game, and that's what hurt them even more.
Right.
A couple of years ago, when Romo was out a couple of games, DeMarco Murray was there, and DeMarco Murray took over. Mm-hmm. And you didn't miss Romo as much.
Right.
But when you take that out of there, and all of a
they
sudden,
even almost made it to the playoffs.
Yeah. So
I am going. I respect Ezekiel Elliott. I respect that pick. I like that pick. I just can't buy that pick right now.
No problem.
So that said, I think my number 5. I'm going to go back to the ideology of throwing the ball out of the flat to the wide receiver. I mean, to the running back, using him as a dump off receiver on a lot of plays.
Okay.
It is something that you can do for a smaller, faster running back. There's another running back up in the top 20 that can also do that, and he has a quarterback that likes to do that and get the ball into the flat. It's a quarterback that doesn't make very many mistakes, and that is one LaShawn McCoy for the Buffalo Bills. And I think with that offense, and the fact that in Buffalo the running game is a little more prevalent, especially when it gets really nasty out, and you get to wintertime where you're not throwing the ball deep. If you throw it, it is out in the flat. It is short.
And that's Mr. Ryan's forte is running.
Yeah, and Rex Ryan loves to run, and I think Fitzpatrick throwing the ball to Shady McCoy underneath is going to be a staple of that offense too.
That's all the farther he can throw the ball anyway. So now, hey, we've done wide receiver, we've done running back.
Sure,
let's go to quarterback.
All right,
your number one quarterback.
Boy, fantasy stats alone, it is a tough pick between Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, and Andrew Luck. All three of them, stats-wise,
See, I'll throw another one in there for you, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson I like just because he's so dangerous.
But you got to remember, he threw for a ton of yards last year. Remember?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's so dangerous with those wide receivers.
And he
you
can
don't
run.
know. Yeah, he can run a bit.
Oh, he runs a lot.
Yeah, but I think if you're gonna talk about more of a mobile quarterback, Cam Newton will get you more yards on the ground than what he will.
Cam Newton will get you the tough yards.
Cam Newton will also be involved on a lot of touchdown plays because he will take it himself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have the advantage of more possibilities for a rushing touchdown from your quarterback with Cam Newton than you will pretty much anybody else. Aaron Rodgers is probably your number 2.
And the one quarterback that gets destroyed in this is the one that misses the first 4 games, because if he had those other 4 games, he'd be right up in that conversation.
Yeah, Tom
Brady.
Right.
And then that's the thing in those leagues you got to remember. Tom Brady was one of your number 1 fantasy quarterbacks over the last decade.
Right.
But the thing is,
he's not
that
even being looked at
when you
right
take
crazy.
4 games off, he's going to be one you're going to pick as a secondary quarterback.
Right.
No one's going to take him number 1. Or if they do take him number 1, they're going to be they're going to be going right for another quarterback with their next pick.
Sure.
Because you have to have someone that can fill those first 4 games. But, I agree with you. Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, toss-up for me. Being a Packer fan, I will take Aaron Rodgers, though. If I'm just going pure fantasy, I would probably put Cam Newton ahead of Aaron Rodgers, and that's very hard for me to say that. My third quarterback, this is where I will probably go Russell Wilson. I like Andrew Luck. You've heard me tell you that I think Andrew Luck, is one of those, right off of the elite quarterbacks.
Every day, data makes our services work better for you.
They do. We got to hear something again there, didn't we?
Yeah, that was annoying.
I love when you pop up those nice commercials
like that. I hate those. What are you talking
But then anyways, I think you go Newton, Rodgers. I think Wilson is right there. I think Luck. We need to see how Luck comes back after being injured last year. He missed most of the year.
Right.
Roethlisberger. What is Roethlisberger? I mean, this is. I mean, we were talking about fantasy, and I said, the league I was in, Roethlisberger was, he was a beast. The year I won it, I had Rodgers and I had Roethlisberger. And I remember the one week, Roethlisberger threw for like 6 touchdowns and 500 yards and did something ungodly, and he had like 75 points. Rodgers came through with like 40 points. Mm-hmm. And I won. I go, God, if I would have had the 75 points, just think what I would have done. But I had started, Rodgers and left Roethlisberger out. The next week I said, well, you know what? I'm going to start Roethlisberger. So I start Roethlisberger, and he get like 3 or 4 touchdowns, had an interception, threw for like 350 yards. And that week, Aaron Rodgers threw for like 6 touchdowns and 500 yards. And you're going, I can't win. But those two, they carried me that year to win the league. But, Roethlisberger is that type of quarterback fantasy-wise.
And that's funny because historically he wasn't.
Oh, no, I know. I had mentioned that. But the last couple of years.
When he first came into the league, he was poison for fantasy football owners. I think if I'm looking at quarterbacks, like I said, 1, 2, 3, Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, Andrew Luck. That's got to be your top 3 fantasy quarterbacks.
I will go Russell Wilson over.
I like Russell Wilson, but he didn't run as much as last year, which is a good thing for him,
right?
Because that kind of was part of his game where, at first he would drop back, he'd look for the touchdown. If it's not there, take off and run. That's bad. That's not going to work. You need to be able to go through your progressions, and he began to do that. He ran less. Mm-hmm. He still ran the third most out of all quarterbacks last year, 553 yards, but he had over 4,000 yards for the first time ever, and he posted 34 touchdowns last year.
And that's what I'm saying. When you look at Russell Wilson,
but it's really hard to I don't know. Marshawn Lynch now too. So I guess you're kind of leaning more on Russell Wilson to break out.
You're looking at Russell Wilson. It's Russell Wilson's team right now.
Right.
And that's why I said I got him at number 3 because you've got Andrew Luck coming off an injury.
Right.
You got Andrew Luck coming back with the same offensive line that couldn't protect him last year. They still don't have, besides T.Y. Hilton, what are their options?
They just picked up Cromartie.
Yeah, okay, so you got a defensive guy. You picked up a safety. Okay, great.
I just mentioned that.
I know, but he's a safety though. He's not.
I know.
So you got T.Y. Hilton.
Colts, and I just remembered that.
You got T.Y. Hilton out there at your.
I just wanted to throw that out.
Well, I appreciate that.
Stick to you.
Well, no, it was okay. I enjoyed it.
He played for the Packers that one.
Who, Cromartie?
Yeah, didn't
he?
No. I thought he did.
No, hell no.
Oh, that's why I was throwing it to you. I could have swore he played for the Packers.
No. Though most ex-Packers do go down to Indianapolis, it seems like. But
yeah.
But he has T.Y. Hilton to throw to.
Right.
Then what else?
I don't know.
See that, and that's the thing. I like Andrew Luck. I thought Andrew Luck. His first couple of years. I was going, this is the making of a superstar. And then all of a sudden, everything started falling, apart around him. He lost his wide receivers. He had no running game, and the line got horrible. And he spent all of last year on his back, and that's I'm going. I look at as far as that, I got to put Russell Wilson because he is flexible. He is someone that he will run the ball if he has to.
I think
he extends plays tremendously. I mean, he reminds me almost of Fran Tarkenton way back when. They could sit there and escape about anything.
You've sold me on Russell Wilson. I like Russell Wilson. I think he would be my number 4.
Yeah.
I think really, and not only that, but if you look at Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett, they're only going to be better and better. Baldwin had a breakout season last year. Seattle does, its receiving core has been better than it's ever been. So.
Right.
And
after that, I mean, you're throwing up. I throw Roethlisberger in there because I think when you've got that wide receiver core like he has, it's
I just got to throw this out there just because.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw my number 5 in. I'm gonna throw Drew Brees in. And here's why. 4,600 yards, 32 touchdowns in each of his past 6 seasons. All right, still had 5 3-touchdown games last year, including he had 11 total touchdowns between weeks 8 and 9. Those are fairly critical weeks for fantasy football.
Yeah.
Eventually, he's not going to be able to do this anymore.
No.
He's 37.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to keep doing this. But while he is, he's got to be in there.
And that's why Andrew Luck drops out of my top 5.
Right.
Because I will move in Roethlisberger and I will move in Drew Brees. And it's not because of the ability of Andrew Luck; it's what's around him.
Right.
You've got to have the players to get the ball to. You've got to have the chance to stand on your feet. And I look at Brees and Brees drops down a little bit because they have taken away some of his weapons. There's no more Jimmy Graham there for him. You took that machine and you put it up in Seattle for Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't have the same core that you had before that he could just take the ball and when anybody wasn't around, Jimmy Graham was always going to get the ball. But then Jimmy Graham is not the same Jimmy Graham that he was 3 years ago either.
Right.
So, but that's where my top 5. I mean, I'm going to go Cam Newton, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Roethlisberger, and Brees. And the only reason that Brady isn't in there is because Brady misses the first 4 weeks.
Right.
But I would probably take Brady number 6, even missing 4 weeks.
Definitely, because at some point he is coming back.
Yep.
It's not going to be the Jimmy Garoppolo show for the entire year.
No,
it's not. Okay, I want to go over this really quickly just because you can get a lot of points out of having the right defense.
Yes, you can.
So I want to go over defenses really quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but when you...
Do we really have to?
Huh?
We really have to, because to me, there's only really one really stout defense. Well, there's 2, I would say.
But the problem is, unless you're that scored. One lucky guy, you're not going to get the Arizona Cardinals defense or the Denver Broncos defense or whichever defense.
I'm talking Kansas City.
Oh, the Chiefs defense?
I mean, as far as scoring,
I would say fantasy defense. Kansas City's probably number 1, could be number 2, depending on how good the Broncos are this year.
It's going to depend on that. But because the Broncos, they lost Trevathan in the middle,
right?
They lost a couple other pieces.
This is true.
Arizona still has it, but you had some injuries. Matthew is coming back from that injury,
right?
So you've got a couple things.
Well, there is something that does work against the Denver Broncos too. We don't know if the offense is going to stay on the field
long enough to keep
the points down on the defense. So that does work against it. But okay, you and I then by de facto, it sounds like you and I are in agreement. Then it sounds like the Kansas City Chiefs are the best defense.
The other
go after.
The other defense I'd throw up in those top 4 would probably be Carolina.
I do like Carolina's defense. Josh Norman obviously was a huge addition. The front 7 is still the focus of that defense, though, and their pass rush is just crazy.
Yes, they just do such a great job there.
But to just kind of to open it up just a little bit on the Chiefs defense, if you look at Marcus Peters 8 interception returns last year. Eric Berry is back. The holdout is over. He is coming back. Still up front, Derek Johnson, Tom Bahali. The offensive or defensive line rather is just ridiculous. I mean, the pressure is going to be crazy, and they very well could have the most sacks out of any team in the NFL this year.
Now here's a couple of dark horses that I have as far as defense. Seattle and Cincinnati. Seattle, are we seeing? I mean, we saw some chinks in the armor last year. Are we seeing a really good defense starting to get old?
Losing Bruce Irvin really hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt the pass rush.
Are we seeing them getting a little bit too old now? Maybe a couple too many games, to where they've been beat up a little bit?
I don't know about getting old. I think the book is out on how to beat the defense.
Well, I mean, because the thing is
physically doing it, however, is still a difference.
They're still going to be physical. You still have Cam Chancellor back there. You still got all the defensive backs.
Right.
But they're a year older.
Right.
Okay. Did you lose half a step? Some of these guys are now coming in are burners, and that's
true.
And that's where I take a look at Seattle. I mean, yes, they're going to be top 5 in all these different leagues, but did we see a little bit chink of the armor last year? I watched Cincinnati's defense. And I don't see Cincinnati's defense up there, but that is a tough defense. That's a hitting defense. That's one that will power you. I mean, they'll pummel you right in the face.
Well, to answer your question, I think about the Seahawks, I think the secondary is still strong. They actually brought Brandon Browner back, whatever that's worth. But that's the Legion of Boom is back together again,
right?
And that is still going to be formidable.
Okay.
Cincinnati,
you've got them at 12.
Yeah, Cincinnati, I have on this list at 12. I
like that defense.
I mean, dude, Reggie Nelson, Leon Hall, AJ Hawk, all gone. That is
AJ Hawk was that was nothing. That was nothing for them. He was playing out there because he went to school at Ohio State. That's the only reason he was there. He wasn't playing at the end of the year to begin with.
Well, their front four is back, and that was like the biggest asset to that defense last year.
That and their defensive, their linebackers.
Their secondary was really good.
Yes.
And think about this: if you are going to take Cincinnati's defense,
Burfict is out for for 4 games or 2 games?
3 games.
3 games.
3 games.
Okay, so you're going to miss Burfict for 3 games.
Yeah. So
that just means he's going to come back with a little bit more vengeance.
This is true, but that is kind of the core of that linebacker.
I understand. I mean, I watched him play. I mean, that was a defense that they put the hit down on you. A couple other good defense, St. Louis, or I should say L.A. now. That was always a good defense. But, they were up and down. I mean, I went to the game and watched Cincinnati and the Rams play, and the Rams destroyed them. And yet, the Rams will be they'll be top 10, top 10 defense.
What really surprises me, neither of us have brought up the Cardinals. Listen to this.
Well, we brought them up again. They were the top. They were the 3 that we looked at: Kansas City, Denver, and Arizona.
Yeah. Now, if you look at Arizona, one of the top defenses last year, they added Chandler Jones, Tyvon Branch, and Robert. What was that? Kimdichie or whatever.
Kimdichie or Nick, whatever the guy.
Yeah,
Nick Kimdichie, the guy that dropped in the draft
Nick
so much.
Kimdichie.
Yeah.
All right. So they picked up all 3 of them.
The other pot guy.
Yeah. They did lose Dwight Freeney.
Yes. Which he was old. He was
he was at the end of his career anyway. So I really think that's I may not call it addition by subtraction, but it was a wash if anything.
Matthew got hurt, and how's he coming back from the knee?
Right. Let's see here, Marcus Golden. I think his first year was very good. I'm excited to see what his second year is going to be. I really think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be it's going to be a defense this year again. Their defense is going to be overlooked.
No. I don't think they're going to be overlooked.
I think, well, I mean, as far as they're not going to be the first defense picked. They're going to be one of the first. They'll probably be 3, 4, something like that.
Yeah, I remember.
I think they're going to be overlooked a little bit. This is a defense. I normally don't pick defenses in early rounds. This is a defense that I could see coming off the board in like a 3 or a 4th round.
And the thing is, this is the same defense that I watched a Green Bay Packer team, minus Jordy Nelson, plus a really overweight, fat Eddie Lacy, almost beat them. And it was, it was down to a play or two at the end of the game.
Well, we're not. Every defense, every team has a bad
I understand.
one bad week
I
or something
understand.
like that. Or the matchup, it's just right to beat them, but you're not going to see that. The one thing out of defense that you want to see is consistency.
Yeah, and I think that's
one
why,
of the that's one of the reasons why the Chiefs are so highly touted.
That's why I say Kansas City is, to me, is probably, in my opinion, probably your top defense.
Right. One of their big mantras is consistency.
Yeah.
They're very consistent from game to game.
The
Arizona Cardinals are too. They're very consistent from game to game, with the exception of that one hiccup. They actually were very consistent all year as far as quarterback pressures, sacks, turnovers, points off turnovers, direct points from the defense,
until they played.
Touchdowns.
Who did they get beat by in the playoffs? Was they get beat by? Was it Carolina that beat them, or was it Seattle that beat them?
It was Carolina.
Okay.
And, I really think that the Cardinals, though, while their defense was very good last year, best fantasy defense,
right,
I still think you're going to look at a few other defenses before you look at the Cardinals. And I think if you are sitting behind somebody that's picking a defense, you're sitting right behind you got a pick or two behind them. The first defense that comes off the board, and you always see this. One defense comes off the board, all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. You see defenses just start flying off the board all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think that'll probably be the way this works out too. If once this year, it'll be no different. The first defense that comes off the board, whether it be the Chiefs, the Broncos, or whoever, the first defense that comes off the board will tend to breed the rest of them. So if you're sitting right behind the guy that takes the Chiefs, and then the next guy that takes the Broncos, now all of a sudden it's your turn. I would go after the Cardinals, because at that point, somebody's going to snatch them up, because they just got reminded of, hey, you got to get one of these top defenses. But I don't know if they will necessarily be one like the first defense to come off the board in a lot of leagues.
Okay,
so that was my thought process.
No,
on that.
I understand. I am right there with you.
Now, we do have to. Man, we went way over on our break.
That's okay.
We got to hit a break. When we come back, we got to talk. We got to talk us a little baseball.
We got to talk Cubs.
Yeah, we are winding it down.
No, yes, we are. Save the best for last.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to do that, and that's right on the other side of this. This is the Cheap Seats on XERS Radio.
Danielle Slav from Cheers Pub here. If you're looking for the best live music in Michiana, Cheers Pub is for you. Established in 1982, Cheers has become a well-known venue featuring local, regional, and national acts. Hard rock, metal, indie, and classic rock music is featured weekly on our newly remodeled stage. We have karaoke on Wednesday nights, drink specials nightly, 4 Horsemen pizza, and a full menu to curb your appetite. We're open 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. Monday through Saturday. Located at 103 Dixie Way South in Roseland. Cheers Pub, where friends become family.
Whether it's a hot rod or a grocery getter, DDW Automotive and Transmission has you covered. Since 1991, they've been located at 204 South Beach Road in Osceola, Indiana. Stop by or call 574-651-5000. Ask for Dave. Who? Tell them you heard about them on XCRS Radio. With over 46 years experience in the automotive and transmission repair business, they offer all your high-performance service and maintenance needs. Bring your ride to DDW. If your tranny misbehaves, just call Dave.
Tune in Wednesday night at 6 p.m. for Through the Deep Tracks with Bill McDonald.
We want to welcome you back to XCRS Radio
Through the Deep Tracks
show tonight, and we're traveling down the highway here. Strap on your helmet, board the short bus. It's going to be a rough ride. You're traveling the deep tracks tonight with Mr. Bell. We're in
Through the Deep Tracks.
And I want to wish him a happy birthday. We're going to carry on now with a song from the Rolling Stones, and actually, it was this week. And a happy birthday this week. He just turned 62 this week. And we're going to finish out the evening with a track here, the third track from the album.
Wednesday nights at 6, only on the X. XCRSradio.com. Through the Deep Tracks.
Hey, this is Kelly Sue Dennis, the voice of the Michiana scene on XCRS Radio. Join me on Monday nights at 6 o'clock in Pleasant Valley. We welcome in local musicians, listen to their stories, and play their tunes. If you want to know what's happened for the week, tune in to XCRSradio.com. And remember, it's a world live radio, baby. Do what you love and love what you do. Monday nights with Kelly Sue.
Someone may have reached utopia. They figured out the best of both worlds, a 5-star dive bar. In fact, that is what it is and is its name. 5-star dive bar at 561 East Jackson Boulevard, Elkhart, Indiana, near Johnson Street. Serving at the 5-star full lunch and dinner menus. Get it all from appetizers to desserts. Special 5-star burgers, and Jake has great buns. The dive bar is also a 5-star place to go for nighttime entertainment and fun. Full bar service and the 5-star frozen Jaeger bomb. With live music 4 nights a week. Wednesdays and Thursdays, a karaoke DJ. That is the 5-star dive bar, 561 East Jackson Boulevard, Elkhart, Indiana, 574-294-7500. 5-star dive bar on Facebook.
We're back to Cheap Seats on XCRS Radio. Got a little baseball to talk to you.
Wait for it. No.
You know I come in on that hit.
I know.
I love that.
You love. I don't wait for those. I just come in.
I can't do that, man.
I know you can. You have to.
If you miss any of the show, make sure you check it out on iHeartRadio. Just go to iHeartRadio on your mobile device. Search the Cheap Seats.
And we'll try and get it back up on our Facebook page today.
Yeah, we can get it on the Facebook page today. For whatever reason. It was on iHeartRadio. And it's on Spreaker. You can check out last week's show. For some reason, it didn't make the Facebook page. I have no idea who did that. I have no idea.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I know how that happened, but I won't go into it.
Anyhow, so check that out on iHeartRadio, or you can go to Spreaker. Just go to Spreaker.com and search The Cheap Seats on Spreaker, and you will find it there. Of course, do not confuse it with The Cheap Seats, the wonderful song by Alabama.
That's right. Great song.
The Cheap Seats podcast.
That's right.
And that is us. So, as we are talking football, we kind of tend to back burner baseball right now because it's football. You know, I haven't seen it in 9 months. We're all excited about it. Woo, football!
Yes,
all right,
we are.
But we just kind of got to keep that in the back of your mind that there are still some boys on the north side of Chicago that are playing some hot baseball. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what's been going on there, Steve?
Well, right now. There are 36 games over 500. That, of course, is the Chicago Cubs. They've opened up now a monstrous 14-game lead over the St. Louis Cardinals.
That is just sick.
You know, and the thing is that they have the best record in baseball by 7 games. I heard that their magic number, I think, was 23 now.
Right, which, it's too early to talk
But
here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Still.
The magic number to clinch the National League best record, 29. 29 games. And you still have more than a month left to play. And you're already down to 29. Just in the month of August, I believe they're 19-4. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
19-4. You and I can both remember growing up Cub fans. You know, the Cubs would always they'd be those years they'd be great all the way through June, all the way through July. August hit, and what happened? Well, we got to play all the day baseball, and it just tires them out, and the heat and everything else. They'd go 5-25 for the month.
And you'd be shutting it down.
That's it. There we go. Yep, there goes the swoon of the Chicago Cubs. They just died. This year, 19-4 so far.
Yep.
And now they're heading into a big weekend series against the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, of course, just have gone out in front of the falling. I mean, you talk about a meteoric fall. You don't have a rise. This is a fall. It's a thud.
Right.
That was the San Francisco Giants. Dropping from when they had the 6-7 game lead to where they're now trailing the Dodgers by about a game and a half now. It's so much fun to watch the Cubs because it's now when you get to that point when you have, you start getting down to your, you start getting down to you're counting numbers. You're getting down to this is our. We need to do 23 games to clinch. That's it. When you start getting those magic numbers, and you get them with at least a month, a month and 6 games to go. That's when you start going, okay, well, let's start thinking about possibilities, and people start going, oh my God, as a Cub fan, is this bad that we're this far ahead? Because now what's going to happen is we're going to rest some guys, and all of a sudden we're going to get to the playoffs and they aren't going to be ready to play anymore. They're not going to have anything to play for.
If somebody really worries about that, they obviously have not watched Joe Madden at all this year.
No,
just a little thing for you. Okay, 90 seems to be the watermark in baseball. 90 wins seems to be the watermark in baseball for teams that are great versus teams that are okay. When you're talking about a good record, and you're talking about, 90 seems to kind of be that clinching. Okay, if you got 90 wins, you really should be a playoff team.
But here's the thing,
now,
Steve.
The Cubs. I want to point out this: the Cubs could hit 90 games with just under a month left to play.
If they go 500, just 500 for the rest of the year,
right?
Okay. They have 99 wins.
Right.
If they go 500.
Which
90.
by all intent and purposes, just looking at the month of August, the odds are they're not going to go 500.
99
wins. They could very easily. I mean, we are very seriously talking about a team that could spot up 105 wins
at least
this year, maybe even 110.
And this is, I mean, they're right now at batting at a 643. That's their winning percentage.
Yep.
The closest to them is Texas at 586.
Wow.
6 games behind them.
Wow.
I mean, and
what's the closest National League team?
Is Washington 7 games. Okay, Washington 74 and 53.
Oh, yeah, 583.
They're 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5 games down on the Cubs.
Because they've actually
that's huge.
Yeah, it is.
That is a big number when you're talking about August.
I mean,
the end of August.
We're
not even talking about the beginning of August. We're talking about the tail end of August.
They have 6 games left in August.
Yeah,
they could actually
go.
finish 87 and 45. They could have 87 wins by the end of August.
That is crazy.
But and the thing is right now, I mean, all the conjecture. Okay, let's start taking a look, and this is where you start nitpicking things. Let's start taking a look at our roster for playoffs. Do we have to have Contreras out there because maybe he's not gelling with some of these older pitchers, and do we need Montero out there? Do we want to have the rookie in there? I'm like, damn it, yeah, I put Contreras out there. The only time I don't have Contreras, catching is when Lester pitches. I have Ross there.
Right.
Montero, you're coming off the bench. You're going to be that left-handed hitter. And to be honest with you, if I don't need you on the roster, I'm not going to carry you on the roster.
Right.
But if you take a look at it, and you start going, okay, what's their best lineup? If you had to take a look at their best lineup, you're putting the lineup together.
Mm-hmm.
What's your best lineup? And I'll give you mine. Let's see if we agree. Third base. Who do you have at third base?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me open up the roster because you're the baseball guy. I'm not.
I am. You want me to go through this, or you want to?
What? Yeah. Why don't you go through it first?
If you go for the best roster that they could put on, the best 9 that they could put out there. Okay, going across the infield, you have Baez at third base. You have Addison Russell as your shortstop. Mm-hmm. Zobrist is playing second, and Rizzo is at first. In the outfield, you have Bryant playing left field. Go figure. I mean, this is your all-star third baseman. This is the National League all-star third baseman. You're starting him in left field.
Wow.
Dexter Fowler, you're going to put him in center. And in right field, I know he's not batting worth a lick, but every team has to carry one bat. And this is you're going to carry the bat of Jason Hayward. Isn't that terrible that we're saying this is the number one free agent pickup of the summer? Jason Hayward is you got to carry him now. We're carrying him as a Cub in right field, and of course you have Contreras behind the plate. And now who are you going to start? You going to start Arrieta, Lester, or maybe are you going to throw in there Hendrick? Remember, Hendrick's leading the league in ERA, 2.19.
Right.
Okay. Arrieta's leading the league in wins.
Right.
Okay, 16. Lester's right behind him. I believe he has 15. I mean, you take a look at this. You take a look at this team, and you go to leaders. Okay. Let me take a look at wins leaders. Arrieta has 16 wins. Lester has 14 wins. I'm sorry. Hamill has 13 wins. Hendricks has 12 wins. But when you go to ERA, okay, and this is what you look at here, Hendricks 2.19, Arrieta 2.62, Lester 2.81. You go down a little bit, you get to Hamill 3.07. He went over 3 this last game because he just had just a horrible, horrible game. And then John Lackey 3.41. Lackey we haven't even talked about because he's been on the DL for a while. We were wondering how that was going to happen, how they were going to cover. How they do it? They bring in Mike Montgomery. That's the guy they picked up from Seattle. Remember, he was that pickup they got, halfway through June. They got the reliever, but he's a guy that could stretch out and could actually, start a game in that. Brought him in. He started for Lackey the last time out. Went 4 1/3 innings, no runs. Then they brought in, oh my God, who'd they bring in? Cahill, I believe. And Cahill finished it out, and they had I think they gave up 1 run during the game with a nice win. So, I mean, you've got that nice starting pitcher.
Right.
To me, do I start, to me it's a choice between Arrieta and Lester. Yes, I understand Hendricks has the best ERA, but big game pitching, I want either Arrieta or Lester. To me right now, the way it's been going, I'd probably throw Arrieta out there. The thing that worries me about Lester, I love Lester. Lester with his, lack of pickoff move to first base, that's what I'd be worried about in the playoffs. And,
right.
and I want to have the big gun out there in Arrieta to start it out.
I think it'd be a great way to start. You really have to start with your heat. You got to throw out your. Yep. I mean, he's an ace for a reason.
Right.
You got to throw him out there just to basically, show the whole world that, hey, this is what you're going to see.
But here's the next question for you. When you sit there and the playoffs usually get to a 3-man rotation.
Right.
You're going to say, okay, Arrieta and Lester, those are 2. Those are given.
Mm-hmm.
You go Hendrick or Hamill. You don't go Lackey. Remember, I told you about Lackey about a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah,
Lackey is great at the beginning of the season. He's great about mid-season, and then he just tails off.
I would have to go. I'd probably have to go.
Yeah.
I don't know, boy. That's
a tough.
I think I'd have to go Hamill.
Would you go Hamill?
Yeah, just because it's hot right now.
Hendricks is a hot one.
Oh, is Hendricks?
Yeah, Hendricks is a 2.19 ERA.
Oh, that's right.
I would probably go Hendricks. And the thing is, I'd have Hamill ready to come in, and go have halvesy with him. You're going from one to the other. I mean, that's, it is such a nice problem to have when you have those 2 type of guys that you can sit there and interchange. You can bring a Lackey in for a couple innings, but just think, at the end of the game, you got Rondon that's coming back off the DL, and you still have Chapman.
Right.
Edwards has he had a couple blips there, but Edwards has pitched lights out for most of the time since he's been up. The reliever, the kid they brought up. So I mean, this is a team that you just look at, and one thing that if you've been watching over the last couple of weeks, the one kid that you're watching that you're just going, my God, where's this? Addison Russell. This is a kid that's batting about 245. 19 home runs, 80 plus RBIs. This is from your shortstop. This is from the 22-year-old kid.
Right.
I mean, I'm just going, I'm watching this, you're just going, oh my God. Remember when Starlin Castro was there and they brought up Addison Russell and they had to move Addison Russell to second base when they first came up and finally said, the hell with it. We're done placating Starlin Castro. Russell, you're going to shortstop. Castro, you're going to have to learn how to play second base.
Right.
And then Russell was so good, they said, you know what, Castro? You're going to the Yankees because we don't want you anymore.
We don't need you.
And, Castro, remember, he was the face of the franchise.
Yeah, he was.
He was the face of the franchise. And he's a young guy. He's like 26, 27.
You had a lot of people questioning that move at first.
Yeah.
And now
I
didn't.
I thought they were late at getting rid of him. I thought they could have got more from him about 2 years earlier.
Right.
Because he had shown all of a sudden that he wasn't willing to run that ball out. He wasn't willing to, give 100% effort. You knew he wasn't a Joe Madden guy.
Right.
Because he was not going to give that effort. He was not going to be the guy that went out there, unselfishly and played.
Right.
And that's what I love about this team right now is you take a look at Chris Bryant. How many times did you have a guy that's, you have 2 guys in Bryant and Rizzo that are fighting for the MVP of the National League, and Bryant, he plays left field, he plays third base, and he played first base. I think he's played first base either coming up here for Rizzo. I think he did that the other night against San Diego. Right. I mean, how many MVPs or potential MVPs would switch positions like that during a season? That's the kind of guys that Joe Madden has.
That's exactly what exactly what you need to win championships. Though you need guys that are willing to step outside of what their own personal feelings are or whatever it is they want to do, and do what's best for the team and what's best for them to win.
I mean,
exactly
and then you
Matt
take a look at
has.
on your bench. You have Ross, you have Montero, you have Soler.
Right.
You have some people. You have Matt Caesar, who has just had a phenomenal year this year. Mm-hmm. You have these guys. You got Coughlin, who I'm not a big Coughlin fan. He hasn't performed for me like I want him to do this year. But I mean, you have these guys that can come off and they can spot start. They can pull it in. The nice thing about having this lead is you can give some guys some rest. But right. I think you're going to give them rest here and there because right. you need to maintain the sharpness. You need to maintain that winning attitude. And that's the thing. If they can continue to win, at a 60% win rate, you're going to see these guys get that time off. But at a 60% win rate, you're still winning 104, 105 games for the year. So I mean, and it's a way in which you can give these guys a couple innings off. I think the thing that's going to help the most is you can rest some of your pitchers. You can give them, okay, I'm gonna go. You're gonna go out. You're gonna pitch 5 innings. I don't care if you're at 60 pitches, or 70 pitches. We could bring you out. We're going to save a couple innings. We're going to bring some of these other guys in and let them do it. I think once they expand the rosters, you're going to see that. If you take a look at it, I mean, it's something that's just amazing what is happening up on the north side. And there's been so many of us that have just been waiting our lifetimes to see this. And to sit there and I've listened to sports shows and you hear these callers going, oh my God, they're going to do this and they're going to swoon and they're going to the playoffs. I'm like, you know what? Relax, enjoy. When was the last time we were able to enjoy a season like this? To actually watch baseball and enjoy it, knowing that this team right now, I mean they could almost turn upside down and still win.
Right.
I mean, this is something that in our lifetimes. I mean, I've been waiting this. I got to watch the Packers win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I watched the Bulls win the NBA championship 6 times. I got to watch the Blackhawks, win the NHL, win the Stanley Cup 3 times. I got to see Notre Dame win a national championship. I got to see this. I have not had the chance yet to see the Cubs do that. And by God, I think next year is this year.
This is what we're going to be hoping to sing.
At the
end of game,
we got to.
Game 7 of the World Series. I want to hear this piping out of the speakers at Wrigley Field.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Oh, I'll be singing that.
I will too.
Holy cow!
That's going to do it for the show. We're going to get you out of here. Next week, we're going to be the final call, the final week before the NFL regular season.
We're going to see some of the last cuts coming in.
Absolutely. And next week, we'll be talking some Notre Dame football. We're going to bring in Todd Burlidge, talk a little Notre Dame football.
I can't wait.
Brandon Burnett, our NFL expert, is going to come in, talk a little NFL regular season week 1. You're going to get ready for that and much, much more. So make sure you tune in next week. Once again, don't forget to check out the Facebook page. Go to facebook.com.
Cubs
Look
go.
for the cheap seats.
Sing it, Mr. Wills. The Cubs are going to win today. That's right.
All right, for Steve Detterman, this is Steve Willis. We are out of here. You guys have a good week.
Have a good one, guys.
Hey, ladies. Tired of the same old story? Getting promised all this big meat only to find out it's just the same old average helping? You need someone that can satisfy all your cravings.
You know what she needs? She needs some Scoobies.
Scoobies. Oh, yeah.